Hey, Matt, again for the OnlineSupercoach. I'm filming a few on the same day because it's such nice weather, but you know, we're on the next video along from yesterday's too busy video. So let's try and work or dig a little deeper on that. Let's see how many minutes we have in each day. How many? Well, how many hours do we have? We have 24 hours. Each hour has 60 minutes. Yeah. That's 1440 minutes, I think, if the numbers are correct, that we have each day. How can we utilize those to our maximum advantage to get the most out of our life, for our life to be the most productive, most healthy, most energetic, most vital, most loving, most caring, most supportive for us personally, for our children, for our partners, for our friends, for our family, for our colleagues? How can we live a life of awesomeness and at the same time spread that out to other people so that they get the energy from you and they get some further development in their life too? Well, you know, we need to be consciously aware of the fact that there are 1440 minutes in the day. We need to be starting to look at where those minutes go to every single day. You know, you'll have heard it, people say, living in the moment, living in the now is the way to live. And yes, I can wholeheartedly say that I've spent donkey's years of my life living in the future and living in the past, chasing carrots, chasing dreams, but always pushing and grinding, working too hard, trying to achieve something, and it never being achievable. Yes, I've improved and made, had successes, but I've never quite reached what I wanted to achieve. And as soon as you can reframe that and say that you are enough, that you are happy with what you have right now, but that you still aspire for things to be bigger, better, greater, if in the moment you are happy with what you've got, then anything else in the future is only going to be fractionally better. So it's about turning that around primarily in our minds, and there are ways and techniques of doing that, and there are tools to use that you can assist yourself in getting the whole neural network in the brain working differently and starting to think differently and stopping to follow patterns of fears and doubts and problems and challenges that we've faced in our life based on old patterning. You know, those things will be changed. There isn't a switch that we can do that with, but we can change that around, and part of the process is rebuilding ourselves on a cellular level. Everything that's going on in the brain here, it's built up of these cells. Everything that's going on in the body, it's built up of these cells. And how do we support those cells to rebuild themselves? And we need to put in good quality cellular nutrition to allow that cellular structure to build itself correctly and properly. So we need to drink water, hydrate ourselves. We need to eat really healthy food. And people talk about organic food, but you know, yes, that's probably much better than processed food. But if you're eating processed food, just move to the fruit and the veg and the meat and the fish before you have to think about moving to the organic veg. Don't make it difficult for yourself. Take the steps, find the low-hanging fruits, remove the sugary, too processed, too chemical kind of stuff, take that out step by step, add in the healthy whole food stuff, and start making those gradual changes. Change a meal from being a bought, packaged, frozen, unhealthy, possibly chemical, pesticide-laden meal, to one that the same recipe but that you've made it from natural ingredients. You'll need some time to do that, but you need some time to go and buy something from wherever you buy your frozen food from. So you need to go to that shop, buy it, bring it back, take it out of its package, put it in the oven, cook it for whatever it says on the package, 20-30 minutes. So there is a time cost to doing that. Equally as well, there is a time cost to buying some veg, buying some meat or fish, whatever it might be that you eat, whether you choose to be vegetarian or paleo or whatever kind of dietary requirement you choose or you choose into, to make that. But you can make a really healthy meal within 15 minutes from natural ingredients. So Again, that's about awareness, about learning, about practicing, investing time. There's a time cost element in that. So let's look at those 1440 minutes. How can we break it down to make it simple for you? What do we all need to do first of all? Well, we need to sleep. We need to sleep to allow our body to get into deep sleep, to allow the body to start rebuilding itself, regenerating itself, and then be able to be capable of dealing with the daily stresses of the next day. People say that 8 hours sleep is an ideal. I don't sleep that much, but you know, I would love to sleep 8 or 9 hours. There are different ways and protocols to sleeping to get efficient bodily rejuvenation, and that can be sleeping for less, but then having naps or strategic naps during the day. There can be types of sleeping which that's maybe a little bit too far. We'll not go that far today. There are different methods, let's say. So let's just look at the basics. Can we be in bed for 8 hours? So we go to bed, we turn off the technology, and we lie in bed, hopefully sleeping most of it for the 8 hour period. Then we get up and we've got the rest of the 24 hours. So 24 minus 8 is what, 16? We've got 16 hours. We're going to go to work, more than likely, whether we're employed or self-employed, for plus or minus 10 hours, because we're going to have our 8 hour day, plus we're going to have the leeway of the travelling either side. And you might be fortunate that you work at home, so you don't need to travel or commute, but you might work in an office where you need to commute for an hour either side of the working day. So we'll give ourselves a rough ballpark figure of 10 hours. Well, 16 minus 10 is 6. That's 6 hours. 60 minutes in the hour. 6 times 60 is 360 minutes. How can we use those minutes effectively, productively, for our own personal gain, to start reducing and removing the things that we don't like, or whether that's the emotions, the reactions, the talking, the eating, the movement, the habits, whatever it is. Let's say we've got 360 minutes to play with. How can we use those effectively? What are we doing today in terms of hydration, in terms of nutrition, in terms of movement, in terms of meditation, mindfulness, in terms of building relationships with people? How can we split that 360 minutes equally into those different areas, so that we are giving some time to building our health, to building our wealth, to building our relationships, and our own personal developments? That's sort of 4 areas. We can give 100 and not quite 100 minutes, so 90 minutes, that's 180, 360, yeah, 90 minutes to each of those 4 areas. As soon as we start becoming, me talking about it like this, you start to think about it. You might get a pen and paper, you might start writing it down. You then can start saying, how can I use that 90 minutes to work on my self-development, to grow my knowledge and awareness, to help me develop my business or develop my career? How can I start focusing 90 minutes on building my health? Will I invest that time in walking for 10 minutes twice a day? So that's 20 minutes, that's 40 minutes, 20 minutes off the 90 minutes, that's 70 minutes left. Will I invest 20 minutes in reflection, meditation, writing things down, what are coming up, planning? Will I spend 20 minutes preparing some healthy food? We can find that if we write it down, create a strategy, create a plan, find the number of minutes that we're able to invest in that particular task, then we can start fleshing it out. So please go away from this video and don't try and start fixing the business, the wealth generation, the relationships, the health, all of those different things at once. Let's choose the most challenging area for us, and I'll always say that to people. Let's look at the health first. Let's look at what we can change with our health, with our hydration, nutrition, movement, and how can we do that in minutes rather than hours, and how can we then start compounding that to give us some benefit moving forward as we improve our vitality, our energy levels. Then we'll sleep better, which will have a knock-on effect the next day. We'll have better energy, so we can last longer. as we get to those minutes after the long tiring working day, we'll still have some capacity to and energy to focus on investing that time in developing ourselves further in those areas of wealth, health, relationships, for example. So I hope that video served you, and if it has, please share it, please comment, please ask any questions, and yeah, I'll catch up with you in another video.